Hi, in today's video, I'm going to give you the update on what's going on with the Kansai International Airport, KIX. About a couple of weeks ago, I made a couple of videos about my return trip from Hawaii back through Nagoya and to Kyoto when the KIX airport was closed, as well as some of the things that were going on in this area and around KIX. But I'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. I'm Mike Matsuno, and I'm here in Kyoto, Japan. I'm doing a series, I guess you would call it, called The Man in Japan. I'm actually from Honolulu, Hawaii. I'm a fourth-generation Japanese American, and I'd like to, talk about things that are going on in Japan as well as related to Japan. Recently, what has happened with KIX is that yesterday there was a big welcome and opening. It finally is back up to full operational level. 471 domestic and international flights went in and out of KIX yesterday smoothly, everything running back on time. As many of you know, Kansai International Airport is actually built on a man-made artificial island that they built in the middle of Tokyo Bay. Several reasons for that was that there wouldn't be any problem with the noise, that Kansai Airport could fly 24 hours and they wouldn't have to worry about disturbing anyone. It was a very amazing and initial concept and architectural engineering feat. However, no one expected the typhoon. What happened on September 4th was, yes, the winds and the rains were very hard and damaged certain parts of the buildings and runway, but the biggest problem was the storm surge that sent huge waves of water onto the terminal, not only on the terminal but on the runways, and did severe damage to the Terminal 1 as well as the Terminal 1 runway. And a lot of the electronics and the control centers were actually built in the basement of the control tower, is what I heard. And of course, when the storm surge came, it flooded, and those controls and that equipment was, of course, damaged. And that's what took so long for them to get back on running and operating again. But you can imagine the millions of dollars that were lost by the closing of the KIX airport. All of those flights that fly into KIX either had to be rerouted or a lot of the tours were canceled. What the news program NHK News was saying last night, and I will take some clips and I will play it through this video, is that from especially those tourists from Taiwan and Korea and China, they canceled their tours coming this way. And so one company said that it had lost $100,000 in this period because of the closing of KIX. And it went on to, the reporter went to different places, Kuromong Market, where a lot of tourists from non-Japanese tourists come and eat and shop. They're somewhere around 50% down. Osaka Castle, which commands a lot of people to come and visit, especially when they come to Kansai and Osaka, is somewhere in the effect of 30% down after the typhoon. Department stores, they say they're about 10% less. Their overall sales are 10% less than last year. So in every aspect, the typhoon caused huge costs-related issues at the airport and throughout the whole tourist industry. And so now Kansai and all of this area is working very hard to try and bring the tourists back. Actually, they're down somewhere around 50% of what the normal number of tourists are here. So in a very different way, now is a good time to come. If you're interested in coming, they welcome you with arms open. You get great service. You always get great service though, and that now is a good time to come because there's not that many tourists here, especially now as it gets into fall. It's cooler. The leaves will be changing in a few weeks. It might be the best time to come because it won't have caught up to the pace that it was building to. In the fall and in the spring for sakura there are bazillion tourists that come through, especially in Kyoto. And so, for those of you who are thinking about it, tickets may be cheaper, I don't know. Might be a good time to come to Kansai to see Kyoto and Osaka and, of course, Nara and Kobe in this area, if you're interested. And one more note, some people worry about the transportation between KIX airport on the island and the mainland. They have the trains, I've just started running from a few days ago, so the railroad is working. On one side, they're running the buses and the cars. What has happened is it used to be like, I think, a 2-lane highway, 4-lane, 2-way going in each direction. And after, you may have seen the footage of the tanker that hit and severely damaged the bridge during the typhoon. It got swept up, banged against the end of the bridge, and it must have kept just hitting and banging and damaging it. Personally, I don't even know why the tanker was in that area. If there was any possibility of something like that happening, why wasn't there more care? Most times in Japan they're very careful and overly careful about things like that. I saw some report that the tanker should have been like 5 kilometers or 5 miles away from the bridge, and it was actually like 2. I'm not sure. I just saw it very quickly, but something was wrong there, because a tanker shouldn't have not been in that area and shouldn't have been caught up in those winds and taken right to the bridge, where no one would have imagined what had happened. And it actually cost huge amounts of money, because once they had to close the entire bridge because of safety, of course, even if the runways were clear, or even Terminal 2, which Peach Airlines and JAL and ANA were flying out of recently, couldn't be used if the bridge was not accessible. So that was a huge cost factor. I haven't heard much after that about who was responsible or what had happened. So what I see on television is that the Kansai, Kyoto, Nara, Osaka, all the people of Kansai welcome the tourists back. And now, as I said before, it would probably be a good time to come, because there'll be much less tourists. Things won't be as crowded. It'd be easy to get reservations, maybe better service. On already the best service in the world, you get even better service. Restaurants would be easy to go in and get something to eat. So, and it would make the people of Japan, Kansai especially, very, very happy. And I think that's a win-win. So if you have the time and money, now's a good time to come. Hope to see you in Kansai or anywhere in Japan. Thanks for listening.